yes, it is me, Catherine. For those who don't know that my actual name is Catherine and not Katie, surprise, it's Catherine. I am a professional soap maker, meaning I make soap for a living and that is how it supports my family. And today we are going to be doing a quintessential late 90s, early 2000s inspired soap called Glossed. For the just mountains and mountains and mountains of lip gloss that were consumed between the years of 1995 and 2008. I wish I knew how much that was, because I'm sure it was hundreds of pounds. You can have a sparkly gloss. You can have a clear gloss that you put on top of lined lips, which is not a look I indulge in ever. However, some people think it's the bomb. So I was like, how can I work this into a cold process soap? It's very easy to do with Melt and Pour. Melt and Pour and glycerin soap are synonymous. They can be found at your local craft store. It's that clear stuff you stick in the microwave and mold it, and it looks amazing. Really easy to do with that. Not quite as easy to do with cold process because cold process is opaque. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I took some really, really clear Melt and Pour and poured it on top of the piping, like all over it. I'm talking for 2 brambleberry molds, 8 ounces of Melt and Pour, so half a pound just dumped on top. And then I thought if I add a little bit of mica to it, I could make it slightly shimmery and still very, very clear and very, very glossy. So that was my thought. I knew I had to work this into the collection somehow, and today you will get to see whether or not I failed at this experiment. And so without further ado, let us make Glossed, the soap. Okay guys, let's get glossed. So I have all of my melted oils here and my lye water solution. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in. We're gonna try to do layers today, but I'm not entirely sure if they're gonna be straight or not. I can't make up my mind. I'm also gonna do a multicolor soap frosting because I just want to so bad. So let's start by blending this up. Alright, and now I'm going to pour in my soap. We're going to split this batter into 4 equal parts. These can be weighed, but as you guys probably know, I'm pretty good at this point at eyeballing, so I'm not going to weigh them. Next, I'm going to scrape it out in my container. Excellent. Now, it's going to be a super, super pretty pastel palette because necessary. So for the colors, I'm going to add in some Cosmic Carolyn. I'm going to add in some I Dream of Purple. I'm going to add in some Mint Julep and titanium dioxide. So let me make sure I get all that out. And then also to make these colors pastel, I'm adding in titanium dioxide to them as well. Just like that. Awesome. And then I'm going to add in my fragrance oil. Today I'm using Energy by Brambleberry. Fantastic. So because it's layered, I'm going to remove some of these, get them out of the way. Like all you. No, not all you. That's not what I meant to say. Just like that. And then I'm going to blend up this first layer with my stick blender here. Alright, I'm going to scrape down the sides of my container here, move my little hand back and forth, get all those air bubbles out, move my hand back and forth. What is wrong? What does that even mean? I'm going to stir it. And then we're going to pour in this first layer here. So lucky for me, it's actually starting to set up a little bit. This is actually a good thing because when you're doing multiple layers, you don't want them to take forever to set up. You want them to kind of hurry it up a little bit so you're not waiting around and your other soap is thickening too quick. I'm also going to scrape out this container really well because, well, quite frankly, we won't be coming back to it, so it would all be wasted if I didn't scrape it out now. Awesome. Okay, so now I am going to let these sit for a second and then I'll mix up the next layer. All right, time for the next layer. This is our pastel purple layer. I'm being very careful as I pour because I don't want to mess anything up unnecessarily. This is still a little bit runny, But the good thing about doing this while the soap is still kind of runny is that these layers will stick together really, really well. Most of the time, soap sticks together, no problem. You don't have any issues. But occasionally there will just be that batch that kind of comes apart at the seams, and that's just not fun at all. All right, I'm gonna put the rest of that in here. All right, and we're gonna let this set up, and then we'll move along to the next layer. And there we go, completely full and ready to be frosted. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up all those frosting colors now. We'll come back, we'll put it on top, and we have a really, really super cool drizzle that we're doing on top of today's soap. I cannot wait for you to see, and I also really hope it works. Anyways, we'll be back after this quick commercial break. Alright guys, I have my tri-color pastel piping ready to go, and one of my piping things still in frame. Get out. So, everything is roughly the same thickness, which is great. It all has the same amount of titanium dioxide in it, so that really helps. So I loaded this slightly different than I did these on this side. And I can't decide which one I like more because I feel like this one looks more opaly, but it's also kind of cool to have them like really, really stark. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide which one I want to try to mimic in the future, but both of them are good. And so I'm torn. This is the round tip that comes in the Royalty Soaps Soap Frosting Club Kit. So if you would like to do soap frosting like me, the club kit comes with everything you need to make your batches and an instructional DVD Oh my gosh, we really are going back to the 90s. An instructional video available on my website with an exclusive PDF and access to my soap frosting recipe. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a good time. So if you'd like to make it like me, well, now you know how. Okay, I have a lot left that I get to squeeze into the top, fill in all these gaps, and then it's time to start putting on the embeds, and that's the part I'm honestly the most excited about. And that's right, I piped this whole top vertically instead of horizontally because I was tired of getting things uneven and off-center because I'm a poor judge of where the center line is. Okay, so this is what we're working with. And the next thing I have to do is add all of these little soap balls on top. So you can probably see that they're super, super shiny, but what you probably can't see is that the shiny is like different types. It's not just white. There's a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, a little bit of white. It's like, it's all over the place. And I'm gonna try to get these on relatively quickly because the next part, which is the gloss, I actually want to put on before the soap starts to set up too good because I want to make sure that it's super sticky, gets into all those crevices, and won't fall off whenever I cut these bars. Okay, excellent. All of them are on. Let me straighten this up real quick, and then I'm gonna go mix up the gloss. Okay, guys, look at this glossity gloss. Ugh, it looks so good. And it's still quite clear, and honestly, I really hope this works, because I've never done it before, so let's just start. Oh, goodness. Oh, heavens. Oh, it's running down the edge. I do believe I'm going to have to make multiple coats because it's so runny and liquidy that it's just rolling right off the soap. And it's also really thin, and I wanted it to be a little thicker than it is right now. So I think I'm gonna pour this on and then go back over. And I'm totally fine if there's like actual drips on the soap. Yes, yes. Ah! Oh my gosh, it's going everywhere! Wow, a tragedy. It's just going all over the place. So clearly it's too hot, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to sprinkle the hollow on top. And I'm just doing it lightly because I want it to look like lip gloss and I don't want the hollow to be too distracting, but I also want some rainbows. It's a struggle over here. It's funny because the more I pour on, the closer it's actually getting to be the way that I envisioned it, which is good. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit for a little while, then I'm gonna clean up the edges, and then I'm gonna bring you in for a close-up, because right now, it's just looking a hot mess, okay? Guys, I am so sorry. I do not have up-close footage. I did my very best, and I don't know what was wrong with it. So here are some up-close and personal shots of glossed up-close and personal. Look at those drippy drips. So pretty. Okay, so we'll be back, of course, in 18 to 24 hours to cut up these bars after this quick commercial break. Alright guys, it's time to cut glossed. Alright, I think I have lined that up pretty good. I'm gonna press down pretty gently though because I do have melt and pour on top of this. I don't want it to snap the wires. And then I'm gonna pull one out of the middle here. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Good grief, what have I done? So don't worry about the discoloration. Don't worry about that. That will turn pink. But on this particular loaf, it looks like that green layer was not completely set up. And, yep, these are gonna be QC'd. I wanted really straight layers for this, okay? I didn't want swirly layers, I want straight layers. However, the actual design is delightful, and take a look at that piping. Like, hello, it is fantastic. I want me some of that. Here's one that has already sat for a while, so you can see that pink has turned the right color. But yeah, I just didn't let that layer set up enough. But in the future, they're gonna be a lot straighter than this. One of the cool things about handmade products is that, well, they're all handmade, and so there's gonna be some natural variance in the bars. However, I do try with royalty soaps, and it's very important to me and my family that we have some sort of a quality standard that we go off, so we will pick a couple of bars, say if they don't look close enough to that, then they get culled and they either get turned into samples or they get donated. So there's you a little more about the process. So these will probably either be sample bars or will be sold as peasant soaps. I'm assuming we'll probably do peasant soaps on these because there's literally nothing wrong with them. It's just not the design that I intended for them to have. Oddly enough, the other loaf that I cut was way straighter than this. It did not have that big dip in it, so I think this was pretty exclusive to this one loaf. And next time, I will remember to let those layers set up a little bit more. But other than that, y'all, it smells fantastic. I absolutely love the way that the gloss looks on the side. I'm gonna try to get this to focus so that you guys can see exactly how good that looks. It's so pretty. I'm gonna clean up these edges a little bit. We're gonna get these all spritzed up, and that's how I'm gonna photograph them, is when they're all glossy and beautimous. Yeah, that's right, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Let me tell you, the drips down the sides of these bars are everything. When I originally envisioned this, I thought I would just make it kind of like a smooth layer on the outside, a little shell that keeps the soap frosting encapsulated and was super clear and would look really cool when it hits water. However, because of the way that the melt and pour sat up at different rates and it was really liquidy at first and then it got harder as we went along, it created drips. And those actually look way cooler and way more like a vintage commercial of someone putting on gloss and then it like dripping off their lip or something. So I'm thrilled to death. I will definitely be using this in the future as a technique just to sort of spice up a top. Even though I have to say it's pretty poppin' as it is. I really, really, really love the blend of these pastels. They're not over blended. It smells absolutely incredible. I'm thrilled. This is my favorite frosted soap of the month. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe leave me a comment down below. It really helps the channel grow. We're already at 800,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane, and we won't even talk about it because I'll probably cry. And you guys don't want to see makeup running down my face, now do you? And if you would like to get a bar of this for yourself, you can on February 6th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, royaltysoaps.com. We do a new soap collection launch on the first Saturday of every month. I've got some really cool things coming up in the future. Also, there's a sticker for this month. I started creating stickers last year and you guys absolutely loved them. So we're going to continue in 2021 having an exclusive monthly sticker that matches the theme. I can't wait for you to see it. It's just... Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that's going out and trying some fancy schmancy lip gloss or maybe making your own. TKB Trading has a really cool lip gloss kit that I really want to try. I've never actually tried to make a gloss using professional crafting products. I've only ever done kids craft kits. So making a gloss would be, I think, a super cool thing to do. And if that's something you'd like to see me do here at Royalty Soaps, let me know. Maybe I could buy 2 of them and give one away to you guys. Anyway, it's been great. It's been a time. Have an absolutely royal day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye for now.